Hello, friends. I am Professor Sultan Inamdar from Political Science Department, Modern College. Here today we are about to discuss the topic of human rights. In semester one, we had something called as Human Rights 1, which was applicable to human rights, or you can say it was particularly related to semester one. And now in this semester, we will be having the same subject with the different name called as Human Rights 2. So we can say it is extended part of the semester 1 itself, wherein we will be dealing with the remaining points. Particularly when it comes to human rights, we have to understand that why the UGC, University Grants Commission, the universities and the colleges, and all over, we can say the education sector felt the need of introducing such kind of topic, such kind of extracurricular course called as human rights. It's all because somewhere government felt that somewhere the educational institutes feel that the basic understanding of individual rights should be there with every citizen. Every person should be aware of their basic duties and basic rights which they are supposed to extend towards the nation. And that's the reason due to which we have this subject called as human rights in our curriculum, which is applicable to all the postgraduate students who are studying in part one, whether it is MA, MCom, MSc, or any other discipline for that matter. So basically, the point which we are going to discuss today is all about human rights and duties in India. And to be more specific, what kind of laws are made, what kind of policies are there, what is the nature of society, and how the laws and policies are enforced or implemented in India. What is the mechanism to implement all these things is the essence of this topic for today. So, without wasting much of the time, let us begin with the first point, and in which we are going to deal with human rights in Indian context. Particularly, we will be discussing around three points. First would be introduction part, then Indian Bill of Rights, and preamble, in which we will discuss few things about fundamental rights and directive principles and fundamental duties as well. So, when it comes to the introduction of human rights, we have to understand that human rights is, can say, the basic necessity of every citizen nowadays, and it was there before also. But the only thing is that we never recognized their rights. However, slowly and steadily, now the entire world is towards the path to recognize the rights and liberties of the individual, of the citizens. And that is the reason due to which every nation nowadays is offering something called as rights, or to be more specific, fundamental rights. So is the case with India. In India also we have fundamental rights, which is mentioned in part 3 of the Indian Constitution, wherein it begins right from Article 12 to Article 35, wherein all six fundamental rights are mentioned. One thing here we need to note that initially when the fundamental rights were offered to all the Indians, those days, particularly in 1950s, we had around seven fundamental rights. However, later on, these fundamental rights were limited. They were curtailed to some extent. And one of them is right to property, which was initially, it was called as one of the fundamental rights, but today it is no more a fundamental right. It is now removed from this list, and now it has become a legal right. So right to property is a legal right, but not the fundamental right. So with this only we will begin. Indian Constitution contain a bunch of rights, which is called as fundamental rights, and also which is called as Indian Bill of Rights. For that matter, we need to understand that what exactly do we mean by Bill of Rights. Bill of Rights is nothing but it was a concept which was introduced in US, United States, wherein all the freedom fighters during those days, they came up with the idea of Bill of Rights, wherein they mentioned that every American citizen, or every citizen for that matter, is having certain basic rights, and those rights must be guaranteed by the state. They must be guaranteed by the government. And therefore, the government also came up with the idea called as Bill of Rights, wherein they offered different rights to their citizens. So it was all about, we can say, rights and liberties which were extended, which were given to American citizens. Here also there was a debate that we should give these rights to Indians, and for that matter, uh, all the freedom fighters during those days, around in 18th, 19th, and 20th century, they started a movement, and one of the movement was related to Indian National Congress, which was established in 1885. Probably it was the first party which was established in India. And after that, many leaders joined these political parties, and later on they declared Purna Swaraj, Home Rule movement, wherein all these ideas of Bill of Rights were influenced by these people. There were many freedom fighters like Motilal Nehru and Patel and many other people who contributed to Indian freedom struggle. They thought of Purna Swaraj, or complete revolution, we can say, in which they demanded complete freedom, complete liberty from British colony. And that's the reason these all people gathered, mobilized, and later on they revolted against the British regime, wherein all Indians forced Britishers to leave India and free India. So after that, when the freedom movement was going on during those days, Nehru report was published. This new Nehru report was all about fundamental rights, that what kind of rights should be offered to Indians. These all things were mentioned in that. And the report which was published was also called as Indian Bill of Rights, wherein Nehru and all freedom fighters, they demanded few rights from the British government in those days. Again, all powers of government and all authority, legislative, executive, and judicial powers are derived from the people, and the same shall be exercised in the Commonwealth of India. So it is all about right to democracy. The idea of democracy was supported and propagated by these freedom fighters and many other leaders. Even after independence, they believed in the concept of democracy, wherein democratic principles should be adopted and implemented in India. They believe that no person shall be deprived of his or her liberty, nor shall his or her dwelling or property be entered, sequestered, or confiscated, can be saved in accordance with the law. All titles to private and personal property lawfully acquired and enjoyed at the establishment of Commonwealth, and they are guaranteed. Article 21 and again Article 21 deals with the freedom of life, liberty to life. This article deals with life. Article 19 deals with freedom of expression, and many other articles are there which are now part of Indian Constitution, in which basic rights are mentioned to all the Indians. Third one is freedom of conscience and the free profession and practice of religion. They are public order or morality hereby guaranteed to every person. Right from Article 19 to 25, it talks about different ideas, different rights. The rights of free expression of opinion, as well as the right to assemble peacefully and that too without arms. Under Article 19, it gives guarantee, it gives protection to all the people, that those people who want to gather together at one place, they can gather, mobilize, discuss, debate over many issues. However, they are not supposed to go for any kind of violent acts. They are supposed to gather without any kind of arms. So here the freedom is given that people can come together and they can mobilize. If necessary, they can revolt, they can raise their voice against the establishment. Later on, Article 21A clause was added. Clause A was added to this article called as 21, in which right to education was conferred to all the Indian children who are belonging to the age group of around 6 to 14. So those people who are living in India, they have this authority, they have this right, so that they can go for it. They can take education in a proper manner. Article 14 is there, which deals with equality. All Indians, or we can say also Indian citizens, are equal before law and possess equal civic rights. All Indians are equal, and therefore, whenever it comes to delivering justice, all Indians gets equal weightage, equal importance in front of law. There shall be no penal law, whether substantive or procedural, of discriminative in nature. It is related to Article 20. No person shall be punished for any act which was not punishable under the law at the time it was committed. And Article 21 again says that no corporal punishment or other punishment involving torture or any kind of, for that matter. So such kind of unnecessary or regressive laws are not supported. Every citizen shall have a right to writ of habeas corpus. Such right may be suspended in the case of war or rebellion by an act of central legislature, or if the legislature is not in the session, by the governor general in council, and in such case he shall report the suspension to the legislature at the earliest possible opportunity for such action as it may deem of. There shall be no state religion. However, this is one of the idea of secularism, wherein India is called as a secular country. When it comes to secularism, all religions are supposed to get equal weightage, equal importance in the eyes of law, whether it is majority religion or minority religion. Every religion is supposed to get equal weightage, equal importance in front of law. Again, few articles are there, like Article 25 to 28, which deals with the religion, minority rights, that no person attending any school receiving state aid or other public money shall be compelled to attend the religious instruction that may be given in the school. So here you cannot compel anyone to go for any kind of religious practice if someone is not willing to. No person shall, by reason of his religion, caste, or creed, shall be prejudiced in any way in regard to public employment, office of power or honor, and the exercise of any trade or calling. All citizens have an equal right of access to public roads, public wells, and other place of public resorts. So in such way, we can say that these all basic things, basic needs are provided to every citizen for that matter. Again, freedom of combination and association for the maintenance and improvement of labor and economic condition is guaranteed to every citizen and all occupations. All agreements and measures tending to restrict or obstruct such freedom are illegal. Wherein we have mentioned these things in DPS, we called as Directive Principles of State Policy, wherein we believed that men and women are equal in the eyes of law. So these are the basic ideas of human rights, which we just discussed just now, and which is supposed to be propagated by the state, which is supposed to be understood by all the citizens. So for this topic, I guess this discussion is suffice for today, and we will meet with the next topic in the next lecture. Thank you.